Okay, real quick. I don't have time to go into the whole amazing thing, but if you haven't seen the Saturday Night Live sketch from last week called Rap Song, you have to do it immediately. Splot Studios, your one-stop shop for sexy horse music montages, proudly presents
TomHanksgiving, right here every Tuesday. TomHanksgiving, come on and press play. There's Elvis, the host with the most, yada 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 yada. With a different guest each week, they're the smart ones. Each episode's a new movie about Tom Hanks, the man himself. Of course, it's time for TomHanksgiving. It's the best you can get. It's the rootinest, tootinest podcast on the internet. TomHanksgiving.
Howdy, partner, and welcome to TomHanksgiving. It's me, Elvis, and I'm here to ask the question, does anyone look good in a Jeep? Because I'm not convinced. Today, we're talking with Aaron Davitian.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody out there in TomHanksgiving land?
I think everybody's very excited because today we're talking with you about the 1986 Garry Marshall directed comedy drama ?
No, it's a dramedy.
We'll get into that. As you can see, we already have...
It's very tonal in the dramedy.
The two of us already have nothing in common appropriate for today's topic of choice. So I'm just going to let you dive right in because you love this movie.
I love this movie. I've seen it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I felt like I was in the 80s watching it. It all came back to me.
Okay.
And like the cheesy music.
Oh, the cheesiest.
It's so bad and it's great. Like that song actually is the title of the movie.
Yeah. There's something
it.
about the 80s where it was like they would make their own theme songs to movies. That doesn't happen anymore.
Why not? Let's do that again.
It happens every now and again.
I was waiting for it for Stranger Things, but they never did it. So I'm hoping they do it in the second season.
Oh, like a Stranger Thing?
Yeah.
That actually would be... I don't know if it would be good, but it would be appropriate.
Yeah, I think they could work it in to make it good. I think they're good enough.
Maybe if it's just the credits music.
Yeah, maybe. That's fine. This is early Tom Hanks, where he's still a comedian. And
Right. There's very much... The Tom Hanks you're seeing here is like a variation on his first phase of his Hollywood career, which is kind of early, jerky sex comedy guy, grows up out of Bosom Buddies and Splash and Bachelor Party. That's like all Volunteers, Money Pit, where he's kind of slightly despicable, and depending on the movie, he's more and more despicable versus more relatable. But this character in this movie, he's not the worst douche he's ever played, but if it wasn't played by Tom Hanks, I would hate this guy. See, okay, here's the thing. I started watching the movie, and I had...
You didn't laugh? You never laughed?
No, let me get into it. I started watching this movie. I had never seen it before this week, so I started watching it. And the first scene opens up, and it's this goofy, great little scene where he's in bed with a woman. But no, wait, it's a subversion. They're on an airplane, and he's seduced the flight attendant. And it's like... All right, so we're in this, and as soon as I saw that, I'm like, Aaron loves this movie. As soon as I saw that.
It's great. Why don't you want that?
No. And I'm enjoying that.
He's a freaking flyer.
Here's the thing. It's like, okay, so he's like funny James Bond without the spy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like a good
funny
joke.
Womanizer guy. And it's like,
It's not like my favorite type of humor, but it's well done.
Fine. Yeah.
It's good. And here's the thing. This is the movie I was expecting to see. And I'm like, okay, so this is pretty much what I was expecting.
Okay.
And we're going to go forward. But then this movie, it's like two different movies are fighting it. I do not believe that the side of the goofy, sexy, kind of funny, quirky comedy angle of it does not congeal with the heavy, dark, dramatic, long father-son friction story. I think both of them have very interesting... This is actually, I would compare it to, and you were the guest on this episode, Bonfire of the Vanities.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting mess. There's a lot of really neat stuff, but I don't think the movie synthesizes.
But for me it does, because it felt like life. That's what it felt like.
I know what you're going for.
Because you're up and then you're down, and that's just what it is, man.
I think I think that's the movie's intention, and I'm glad it worked for you, but I don't think the movie is constructed well enough to pull it off. It's too meandering in its plot. It's not focused. It doesn't know what its tone is. Like, okay, so we have great little goofy jokes. Like we're in like a James Burrows sitcom with like one of my problem.
No, it was Catskills.
My favorite.
It was punchline. It was set up punch. It was just like one-liners. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't punchline, which I think did perfectly married the concept of goofy comedy and relationship drama. But no, like one of my favorite gags was like when he's at the restaurant, or the big boss is at the restaurant. And he's like, Do you know the Heimlich maneuver? Yes. Then I'll get the trout. And it's just like, okay, that's a good little joke. The stuff with the different hair pieces.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun.
Funny stuff.
And it's also like, this is, I guess, the origin of the BoJack Horseman voicemail gag, which I thought was great.
And I really enjoyed all the actors. I thought, and even the people that work with him were just you've seen the character actors from the 80s. It was just great. It was
you get a little bit of Mike Haggerty in there. You get at one point Dan Castellaneta shows up. So a lot of like fun faces, and obviously like all the leads are great.
Yeah,
Ava Marie Saint,
Celia Ward,
and obviously Jackie Gleason, who we'll touch on. We'll get into the cast a little bit more in a bit. But but the other half of this movie is like so dissonant, and like I know what the movie's trying to do, and I know what your point of view is, in that life has all of these things.
But I also felt that is a Garry Marshall movie. If you watch his movies, that's Garry Marshall, where it's this serious drama.
Right.
But he's like, okay, we got to make jokes about it. And here's the thing, Tom Hanks. He's the funny guy right now, and he's the biggest star right now. It's him and Tom Cruise are battling for the biggest star in '86. So Tom Cruise this isn't going to be a Tom Cruise movie.
Well, but I want to save.
And so we gotta have Tom Hanks funny.
I want to save our Tom Hanks.
Jackie Gleason.
I want to save our Tom Hanks conversation for the end. Otherwise, we're going to just blow our load right away.
Okay.
But because I have some interesting stuff to say about him, but specifically the movie. And I know like that's a Garry Marshall trait. Like Overboard's probably my favorite of his work.
Yeah.
And that has some, much like this movie, some awkward implications, especially looking back on it.
Dark, man.
It's super dark.
Okay.
But
they kidnapped a lady.
Yeah. But I feel like Overboard knows its tone, even despite the weird dissonance, more than this movie. This movie doesn't have quite the same grip on it. For example, it takes so long for Jackie Gleason to lose his job. There are 3 inciting incidents in this movie. It's like, okay, so there's a new client, and he's falls in love with Cheryl Ann Wayne. That's kind of like inciting incident on the developing boss commercial storyline. But there's also the inciting incident, mom left dad. Oh no! Now there's a big friction between that.
Through line.
But then but then that plot doesn't even get started until dad loses his job, and that takes like an hour before that happens. That's when the movie really starts, because is it a father and son movie? Right?
Yeah, it's a family movie, but I mean,
no. The key relationship.
The key really is a father and son.
The fathers and sons.
And you know what? And
it could be great, but it needed another edit. It needed another pass on the script.
No,
it's messy.
You could definitely take out 15 minutes somewhere.
You probably should.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Even though I was watching, it's 2 hours. I never realized it was 2 hours.
It's very long.
And I did watch it in 2 parts actually. I had stuff to do last night, so
that's why you probably liked it more than I did.
Maybe I did. I had an intermission. I gave myself an intermission.
It probably works a lot better with an intermission.
I know that guy. I mean, those are.
But you see what I'm getting at.
I know, I do.
There are so many scenes where it's like, all right, now we're just watching Jackie Gleason be sad, and that's the other thing. I do not feel fucking sorry for Jackie Gleason's character. No. I don't care how much sad saxophone music you put in movies.
No, 100%. I do not.
He's a piece of shit. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
For sure. But here's the thing.
I feel like the movie's trying to make us feel bad for him, though.
No, I feel bad for Tom Hanks. That's what, because he doesn't want to be that piece of shit, but he knows he's that piece of shit.
The best part of the movie is definitely touching on this cycle of abuse that's like father like son, and it's going back and forth.
And that's real because every son and father has that.
That's something I'm terrified of. Like,
completely.
As soon as the mom's like, complaining about like, there's so much
emotion. I know.
That's the thing.
It's so relatable. It's so real, and that's why it worked for me.
The movie is a complete mess. I feel like. I'm not saying anything about the performances yet. We're gonna get to that. I think the construction of the movie is messy, much like Bonfire of the Vanities, but unlike
Bonfire of the Vanities, it was just so ridiculous. It was hard to keep track. You can still keep track of this.
Yeah, that's true.
The storylines kept track, and they kept going. They moved slowly, but they moved.
Doing the post-mortem diagnosis of a movie is always like, you're kind of guessing your analysis. But I feel like both movies have a problem with nailing the tone. And but I think more Nothing in Common is closer to the tone. Yeah. But the construction of the movie falls apart worse. Like the pacing problems specifically. But
guys, watch it with the intermission. Try that. Just try it.
It probably does help. But there are 15 music montages in this
I know,
movie.
it's so 80s. I love it.
I can't stand it. It's like, we don't need another one.
The horse one was
I wanted to get into the horse.
I love the horse one.
All right. I have a lot of problems with this movie.
It's so good.
And I didn't get to say this, but to this movie's credit, I have to give this as a positive. It elicited such a visceral reaction in me, in the sense of, didn't make me laugh, didn't make me cry, didn't make me feel, but it pissed me off. I was writing and shouting at the TV, "Fuck you, Jackie Gleason, I'm not sorry for you." And I said "fuck you" to Tom Hanks' character. We'll get to that.
Whoa! But Tom's listening.
But at a certain but I'll make it a good thing. Don't worry, it's actually a really good thing that I said "fuck you." But you'll see. But this movie's kind of a mess. It's long. It's kind of boring. It's only kind of funny. But then it becomes the greatest 2.5 minutes I've ever seen when this sexy horse montage happens. I lost my shit. If you want to do the intermission watching, stop after that. And you know what? Don't even come back for the rest of the movie. Watch it just for it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It was just
they're cutting to the furtive looks between the horses having sex, and then him and Cheryl.
And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching this is so 80s. There's no way that this was Gary Marshall's idea. Mm-hmm. Okay, it had to be the studio.
It's so hokey. It's so bad.
It's so just 80s, and so because that's what 80s was. It was music montages. It was close-ups and really quick cuts. And it was
that's the thing. You couldn't try to make this a parody. You can try to make intentionally funny version of the sexy horse montage. It's so genuine that it's just the worst thing you've ever seen, and it's hilarious. If you try to make it a comedy version of it, it wouldn't be funny.
But
you know what I mean?
No, I hear you, but it is funny though.
It's funny
unintentionally,
and it's this is,
but I think
horrifying. My jaw was on the floor. I was so happy though, but it was so bad.
It was so great. It was great. This is such an entertaining film.
I don't know if I'd put it in that. There's a lot of interesting things.
This was
movie.
Classic Hanks. Okay. It's just wild and crazy Hanks, man. I loved it. You don't understand. I am listen, he's great. Sully, Captain Phillips, great movies. But
Sully,
whatever. But really, I just want a comedy from Tom Hanks before one of us dies.
Well, we've got plenty of them, obviously. But no, I would love to have a new comedy too.
Yeah, because Larry Crown didn't do it for me.
Larry Crown's not very good.
No, and I would love to see him in just one more romantic comedy.
We've talked about before. I want to see Tom Hanks and Shelley Long do one more movie. Oh, that would be the greatest thing I've ever seen. Just an older, elder romance.
I want to see Meg. I want to go Meg Ryan again.
Fuck Meg Ryan. After Ithaca, fuck Meg Ryan. I never need to see her again.
Wow, I didn't see it.
It's so bad. It is so bad. It's this movie 10 times better.
Yeah.
But
Nothing in Common.
No, I gotta say, if nothing else, you have to find this movie just to watch that sexy horse montage.
It's great. It's great.
Baffling. The kind of thing where you're watching I'm trying to think of like.
And he starts making jokes before because it's such like that's just a character. He's just a wise ass, and I loved it.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into that because noticing like this is the time, you know, it's early in his career. He's still comedy lead Tom Hanks, and even though
bosom buddies Tom Hanks,
Splash Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
In Turner and Hooch, it's like the most sex symbol-y of Tom Hanks. You see him because he's in his underwear the whole time, and I feel like with that movie it was. This could be the direction his career went in, and I think we see that a little bit here. It's obviously earlier than that, but I don't think he like. I think there's a reason why he's not thought of as a sex symbol, even in his early career, because when he's shows up at the beginning and he's got this cheesy charm.
Yeah, no, he has cheesy
He's making dad jokes. He's a young guy, but you can still see him as this is America's dad, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's crazy how that shines through.
And he's just like, I loved it. I really did.
That was the thing, like, when he was making all these, like, just bad jokes, it's like, that's where it's like, I'm glad they cast Tom Hanks, because, again, I would just be, like, over this guy. If it was just, like, I know this guy in real life, and he's annoying as fuck. Like, I don't want to talk to you. You're so annoying. Just, let me work. Yeah. I don't need your cheer, your enthusiasm. You have way more money. You don't have to worry about the bullshit I'm going through. But because that's the other, like, so many times in, like, the later Hanks career, we've said on this show that you cast Tom Hanks to be this character to kind of create empathy for him because he's kind of like an average guy, or maybe he's a little bit of a blank slate in certain cases. And when you put Tom Hanks on that, it's the Simpsons movie rule that you get the good credit of Tom Hanks. So that's why we follow this character. This is kind of another tactic where it's like this guy is kind of an asshole. But you make Tom Hanks the character, and I'm gonna like him.
You're gonna like him, yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of magic he brings to a role.
Yeah, he's good.
He's very good. Okay. I have more to talk about with his role.
Please.
But let's jump to some of the rest of the cast.
Okay.
Let's start with the man himself.
Jackie Gleason?
Jackie Gleason.
The great one? That's what they call him.
The great. So you part of the reason you're on this episode is you're a big Honeymooners guy.
Yeah, I'm a big Gleason fan. You know,
talk about him. What's your experience with Gleason?
Probably the first Gleason I ever saw was The Hustler. So that was a dramatic role.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw this just great movie, great acting, and then it was Nothing in Common. That was probably the second Gleason. Yeah. And I was like, because I loved Hustler so much, I thought it was great. And then I saw him in Nothing in Common, and then I started watching Honeymooners as a kid, and he brings so much to this character, and this is the Honeymooners character. It is.
Yeah, this is the logical conclusion. Yes, 100%. Of this guy. Yeah,
100%. And if you don't know his career, you would think he's a one note, because if you would just do Honeymooners for from the 50s, and then you do the character of this in the 80s, it's like almost your last film. This is but he's not, and he had different characters. He did a sketch show where it was all different. This was just the character that worked out best for him.
Yeah,
that everybody wanted to see because everybody related to it. Because everybody back then, this was normal. Men were like this.
That's again like. This is perfect casting for this character.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And just even the meta-textual thing that you can imagine the Honeymooners was exactly the relationship he had with his wife in this movie. Well, I just really like how it is the logical conclusion of that character, and we see how dark and shitty this kind of person was. Yeah. And I have a lot of problems with the movie, but casting's pretty much spot on all around, and he's so good that he makes me hate this character. Like he's real, and it's not like arch what's his name? Adam Baldwin from Radio Flyer, who plays kind of a similar shitty father figure. Yeah. He's a little bit more arch, a little bit more cartoony. This guy's completely believable, but a total asshole because he's so manipulative.
And the thing is, he knows that character so well.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he was able to do that character is because, that was his experience growing up. Those were the men he knew.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it's part of me why I just don't like this movie is because it's like so true.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm living that.
Well, I guess I don't dislike it for that reason, because to get at truth is a good thing. The frustrating stuff is, again, the mechanics of certain parts of the movie. But
there was
you're living that. Tell me about that. Let's get into it.
No, parents getting old. You gotta help them out.
Okay, yeah.
You're just like, oh my god,
it's a nightmare. Yeah. I'm living it right now. You don't even know. My greatest wish. I love.
Yeah, wait. Are your parents here though?
No, they don't. They live
Okay, see, it's a lot easier.
So you're living the complex.
You're just dealing with phone calls.
It's a little heavier than phone calls, but no. You didn't. So your parents are
yeah.
So you failed to take the advice of the movie, which is don't live in the same city as your parents.
I failed.
Another thing I love.
Yeah, I failed. Yeah,
because
and it's true. It's I don't know.
I will say
I don't know how to explain it.
I don't think there are enough movies about this subject.
Yeah.
I just wish this movie was properly about the subject instead of like, hey, we're gonna do like 10 other things at the same time.
But here's the thing: if it is such like two different movies almost in tones,
I know.
How it's just, but. Do you really? How fucking depressing would that movie be if it was the drama? So you have.
I'm not saying you have to pull out all the comedy, but like, the movie's basically building toward that moment where he melts down and shouts at his boss that he's not going, and that's a great scene, and that is what it should be building to, but it doesn't.
Well,
it was only at that scene where it was like, oh, this is what we're building to.
Yeah, because there were like
the rest of the movie
scenes.
was
Okay.
It didn't feel like
the cat scene was building towards that.
Yeah.
And then
it's shaky.
Then when he's in her apartment, it kind of built.
I want to talk about that apartment scene in a bit.
No, he was awful to her. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another reason why because Ava Marie Saint, who is amazing as Lorraine Basner, his mom, and who has been in like a million things, including On the Waterfront, most famously. But I knew her immediately as Roz's mom from Frasier.
Okay. Wait, she was in North by Northwest?
Yes. So many things.
Yeah.
I just felt so sorry for her.
You're supposed to.
Which is right.
You're supposed to. You
yeah.
are on the side of the wife.
But that's what made me hate Tom Hanks' character so much, is because he's not listening to her. It takes so long for him to realize what his dad has been doing to her the whole time.
It's not that he didn't want to, because he knows it's going to happen to him.
But that's just as bad. Like, he's ignoring the problem. He keeps going over to his dad's, but it's like, your mom is the victim here, and you're apologizing for dad. And I know you have to love both parents. It's kind of a shitty situation to be in, but I feel like, because like, he gets the call from his dad, he doesn't seek out his mom. He waits for her to come to him. And it's like, he doesn't even care. Granted, his mom adjusts and is the one who's going to be okay.
Yes.
Which is it makes my heart feel so good.
I was so happy for her.
Like that's the scary thing about this, dealing with this in real life, is parents, they decay, they die. You have to how do you take care of them with balancing your life? And that's the stuff I like about this movie, but I feel like it fumbles the execution in certain spots.
Like what spots? Give me a spot.
I already told you, like at the front, like it takes fucking forever for the movie to get started. It doesn't know what to focus on. But I am liking it more and more as we're talking about, because the thing I do appreciate is it doesn't quite handle the subject matter as gracefully and as purposefully as it could, but it's a very important subject matter. Something I'm very interested in, and it's crunchy stuff. What did you...
it's all too real.
Yeah. To jump to a lighter note for a moment, I have a question.
Sure,
I want to do...
please.
Let's just do this.
Yeah.
Which hairpiece was best?
Ooh.
And actually, did you find them to be as bad as the movie, as the characters?
No, they were actually really...
I thought they were really good. Especially that first one.
If you keep coming up to me and saying, hey, what do you think? I would have known.
Yeah.
No, the first one, yes.
I think the first one, I think I liked the swoosh of the second one, but it looked slightly
the
less realistic.
one that was like too short, that didn't work out. The swoosh, the second one, you could tell a little bit if you kept, because it had like the side part.
Well,
so the first one.
Well, I think the first one was the best one. Like, I think the swoosh, just because I like swoosh hair, it's the Conan O'Brien, and whatnot, but that suggests artificiality and it doesn't line up with like his hairline in the front of his head. But yeah, the first one was like, dude, this totally works. It doesn't work in the water, obviously, but.
That's so stupid. It's funny. It's the 80s, man.
No. I mean, obviously, I like the joke, but keep it. Like, it didn't look that bad.
Then, like, the horror when he just keeps moving the girl's desk for no reason.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. The 80s were fun, guys.
It's definitely stoner friendly, I imagine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm laughing, I'm crying. I'm like, it's so sad.
Another tip for watching this movie. Get high and watch it in peace.
And watch it by yourself. Don't watch it
No, I watched it by myself.
No, listen, watch it by yourself. Get high, watch for an hour, then get something to eat, and then maybe something sad happens and you come back to it and it's still kind of funny, but then it's really sad, so all the sadness that you had comes out and it's like midnight by then, you just go to bed.
Do you think this is the best stoner Tom Hanks movie?
Ooh.
Because it is that the jokes are probably way funnier, but also it gets kind of like deep and makes you ask questions about life in the end.
Yes. Oh God. I don't know.
Because I don't give a shit for Bachelor Party, but I imagine if you're high, it's a lot of fun.
I've never seen it stoned.
You've never seen Bachelor Party stoned?
No.
And you still enjoy it?
I mean, I haven't seen it in a while.
It's really bad.
It probably is. I mean, the horse, or the donkey, whatever.
The horse, the sexy horse scene in this movie, so much better than that one.
What is with Tom Hanks and sexy horses?
I mean, Bullseye in Toy Story 2. They keep coming.
I loved Hector Elizondo.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's actually a really, like, a Gary Marshall regular and Pretty Woman, He's always funny. I've always been a big fan of his. Who else is really good?
Steel
Award. She was great.
Oh, was she Cheryl Ann Lane?
Yeah, she was really good.
The actress who played Donna Mildred Martin, also very good.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name?
I've seen her a lot.
Bess Armstrong, yeah.
Yeah. She's really good.
Again, it's a great cast.
It is.
The faults of the movie were, how I see it, where it's fractured, it doesn't have a consistent tone, it kind of falls apart in some places, fumbles. I don't see that in Tom Hanks' performance.
No.
I think this is the first time he tries to dip his toe into being a serious kind of dramatic actor. And that's part of the reason I think why the movie is like so weird is because the movie doesn't set it up like it's going to come at you. And in that way it kind of works as a surprise, which is like life. So I get that. But obviously this didn't take, and it took like closer to Big and then eventually Philadelphia for him to really get into that role. But I think it's interesting that this is the first time we really see that from him. So I think it's kind of a landmark role for him.
No, and it was, and seeing
the movie ends with him, he's wheeling out his dying dad. I mean, his dad's not dying now, but like he's gonna die very soon. And like, this is a Tom Hanks movie. What did I just see?
But that's
like, imagine that when in the day it came out.
See, that's the thing. Before I had already seen Philadelphia before.
Yeah.
So watching this
retroactively, it's not as powerful.
It's just great Tom Hanks. So you don't notice it then. But now when you think about it, I mean, it is very landmark. And he was great. Mm-hmm. He was great.
He's so good. Okay, so he nails what I like about this movie is about his performance in this movie, and I think this might be the biggest dissonance between great Hanks performance and bad movie. Like, this might be one of the lesser movies that has such a good performance in it. That's how I feel about the movie.
And I think that's part of what carried the movie for me was his performance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I felt, that's why I think this is why I love the movie so much, because it is just both Hanks coming together, and there's greatness in there.
What I like about this is, and it took me a while through the movie to see this, but this is because one advantage to the movie being a mess is that we see so many different takes on this character that it really kind of creates a 360 fully dimensional character. So we see him when he's being like a jokey, jerky, pun guy at the office. He's like, oh, whatever. and obviously that's his thing. He nails it. We see him like with the relating to his dad at the end, and we get some of the sad Hanks that we'll see evolve into his later career. And he nails that. And there's also just like obviously the outrage with his boss, the big boss. That coming out, and that works really well too. And it's like all this stuff is coming at him from all these sides. And the other reason I'm glad you're on this episode is because we talked about family ties last time you were on. And I feel like in that one scene, in the apartment scene where he goes over to Donna's house, drunk and angry, that's the evolution of Uncle Ned.
Yeah.
I
didn't think about that.
Yeah, it feels like
because
shades of that performance.
Especially because they're both funny Tom Hanks and they're both like dramatic Tom.
And he shows up and you think because that's the thing with this movie.
Did he win an Emmy for Family Ties? Because he should have.
We're retroactively we're gonna get him.
Okay.
We're gonna start that petition.
Yes.
I mean, there's probably more we could do. Get an award for a better movie, but you know what?
No,
Family Ties. We're gonna die on
guest
Family
star
Ties.
Emmy. Yes, I think he needs it.
Absolutely. But no, he like the Uncle Ned scene, it starts out kind of funny, but you're also laughing because it's like, this isn't appropriate, it's kind of uncomfortable. And then it goes so far into, holy shit, he's doing the exact same thing his dad's doing. He's such an asshole to her. And that's why I think this is such a shockingly good performance, is he made me hate Tom Hanks. And I love Tom Hanks! He's so good that he made me hate him. That's only ever happened once before, and that was Bachelor Party, and that was mostly the movie's fault. But this one, like, really, like, the way he's talking to her, and he's so lacking in consideration for her.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen this guy before. It's so uncomfortable. It makes my blood boil. But it's so good. It's so real. What do you think?
I completely agree with you, and I think...
I'm overwhelmed. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
I think that's... The movie is about redemption. That's what it's about.
Where's the redemption come in? Fill me in.
Hopefully at the end.
Hopefully so you're not certain.
No, I'm not. Because he could have just shoved his father down the elevator.
No, well, that's not going to happen.
So we don't know. We need nothing to comment to. Straight to video sequel.
No. Okay, the movie ends with him carrying out.
Yes, so because...
Is that redemption?
Yes, because if he doesn't do this, he's going to become this. He's going to become his father.
That's what you see.
Yes.
If he like... Basically, the big choice at the end is go to shoot the commercial, or go to pitch the commercial or whatever, or go be with his dad in surgery. And you think that that's the choice that prevents him from being this asshole.
Yes.
I'm not as optimistic. I think it's the right...
I think that's
a step in the right direction.
I don't know about optimistic is the right word, but I feel like that is what the movie is telling me. That's what I got from Garry Marshall.
Okay, maybe you're right, and that's what it was going for, but it's not... It wasn't aligned perfectly for me like that.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Just in real life, I understand it. So that's why I'm able to project what could happen or what.
Well, I think you're right. I think that's what the movie's striving for. I think it's close to being. It's pretty much there, but redemption is
isn't
an
that
odd choice?
But isn't that what it is?
I guess you're right.
Isn't that all what we're seeking, though?
Well, is it redemption or is it about breaking the cycle of repeating your father's sins?
Both. It's both. I think without the redemption, you are going to repeat the cycle. So you need the redemption to stop the cycle.
Well, okay, here, let me ask you this. When Donna shows up at the end to, like, offer a hand in the waiting room, what is that? Is that an olive branch? They're still friends, right? They're not getting back together.
No, they're never getting back.
Okay, good. Because in that sense, that does work for me. Like he's made, especially after that scene.
He was in the bedroom. He was
out of line
to her.
Yeah.
I
don't know if he deserves that redemption, but she gave it to him. I can see that. I can see where you're coming from.
You know what? I've been in that relationship where you've dated somebody for so long that they were just a part of your life and it's hard to let go.
Yeah.
And
that's silent montage where they're eating and then she goes like, why are and then they just start
sweaty.
talking.
Yeah.
But like we're not hearing it. That was fucking weird. It's like
I loved it.
Oh, see, that's another thing. It's like
it was just 80s, man.
This is a bad choice movie. You're not doing it well. But
maybe the sound was bad. They couldn't get.
They cut the scene. Or
we needed the scene so she could see that he still had feelings for her and they still had feelings for her.
Well, end it early. You don't need them talking. Cut that part. That's so bad. But no, back what you're saying.
No, and so I understand it. It's just when you're with someone, especially at such a young age, like they were high school. So and you're gonna have this connection always.
Yes.
Always, no matter what. It really is. Like you're going to. What that like when the end scene when they're at the chairs and he's saying it's too comfortable, their relationship was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna see each other.
No.
I like even as friends.
I don't.
That's
think
the way
so.
you take it.
Yeah,
okay.
because I think when you have something so close like that, and you're both not on the same page.
Well,
you have to walk away because you'll never really be able to move on, and it's not. You can move on, but it's still not fair to the other person you're with because they're always going to see this connection you have with someone else.
Well, you can have a connection with someone that's like insanely just. Not physical, but like metaphysical.
Well, that's
there.
Oh, yes, but when you've already slept with them,
your lives don't line up.
It's still that you can't. It doesn't. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's not. That's not real life.
Maybe the thing I'm struggling with, being fully on board with the movie is that. I don't think it's certain enough in its choices. Like this one, like I see what they're going for and talking about it. Like I think it's there, but I don't think it's
executed.
It needs some massage to get there. And like the same, like I'm questioning, like in the movie, like are we supposed to see? Are we supposed to feel bad for Jackie Gleason with, oh, Mopey, he lost his job, oh no? Are we supposed to think it's funny that Tom Hanks is being a total dick when this other guy is in Donna's apartment and he basically kicks him out? Are we, like, I'm not, the movie I don't think it's trying to make me ask these questions, but I'm asking them. It doesn't have a strong enough grip on what it's doing for me.
Here's the thing. Maybe, excuse me, maybe you're individually, as a viewer, supposed to feel bad for one character. And maybe that's what brings you back. Maybe you like one character. Because, listen, a 60-year-old guy that's watching the movie, he's going to feel bad for Jackie Gleason. Is that not? That's true.
I mean, I'm not 60. I don't know.
So I mean, that
but like,
they would.
He creates all of his own problems.
I
hate Jackie Gleason.
100%, dude. Yeah.
They saw his foot and like, fuck him. I don't have any sympathy. Lose it.
No.
But no. I mean, obviously, yeah, you're gonna come at it. But that's true of every movie. But
this movie really is for everyone.
No, that's a cop out because what stories, not all movies have to do this, but what a movie that's like a storytelling movie like this, a narrative movie, one of the greatest tools at your disposal is a movie is basically an empathy creating machine. Mm-hmm. But when you do it, you're supposed to know which character you're creating empathy for.
Maybe I just felt bad for myself. That's why.
Maybe
that was it.
Which is like that's the second layer of functionality. Is like you're going to see something and identify with something on screen, but the movie didn't do enough work for me, and maybe not for you, to like this is the character we're focusing on. This is the issue we're dealing with. Obviously, Tom Hanks is our thing. So
see, yeah, I feel like I know, like I said before, I felt bad for Tom Hanks, and I think he was the main character and he's the star, and I felt like I was in the right way. I was going with the movie.
Maybe I'm not articulating it enough, but it's just not. And maybe that's my problem is the movie's not quite articulating what it's doing.
Yeah, I don't.
As strong. I appreciate it, but I think it's too much of a mess especially when I think about like talking about this stuff. This is really interesting. This is stuff worthy of being watched, especially these performances. But when you're having a discussion about what matters to the movie, it makes you forget, like, oh yeah, there's fucking 15 music montages that are so bad that, and then like the movie takes forever to get started.
And here's the thing.
That's the thing when I keep saying the construction of the movie is bad. It makes it nearly unwatchable.
I don't know.
But the content is really good.
I want a Jeep.
You would look like an asshole.
I've always wanted a Jeep. I have to tell you, I've always wanted a Jeep. There's just fucking gas guzzlers. I won't get one. Every time I go get a new car, I'm always get a Jeep, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing this.
Jeeps are so stupid.
This movie was great.
You look like a douchebag.
I love this movie.
I feel like you love this movie to be like almost like trolling.
I want to be Tom Hanks in this movie.
You know, if you were this character in reality, though, no one would like you. You'd be a dick.
Listen, it's fun for like a week.
That's what we were talking about the other day.
Yeah.
Not on the podcast. We were saying you need a Westworld for just being like an 80s douchebag.
That would be great. I'd work in advertising. I'd be coked up all the time. And then, because here's the thing, if you continue on that, you get your feet cut off.
Okay, like, genuine question about the quality of this film.
Yes.
His fucking bedroom apartment. That was like a gymnasium. Did you see that thing? It's huge.
That was the 80s, man, and I loved it.
It looked so bad.
Okay, listen, how did he afford the apartment in Big? He was a child.
No, but that apartment, that doesn't make that much sense. But the apartment looks like a real place. This thing looks like a set off of Fraggle Rock.
It had a window. It was good.
It's so bad. Like, you can see like the fake walls in layers with the door. It's so bad. And like that's the thing. Like if you want to have a movie, like you can have a movie that looks like Pee-wee's Playhouse. If it's a goofy fun, that's what you're doing. But you're trying to get to realistic feelings.
So the set production wasn't great. Okay, fine.
But that stuff comes out in different ways.
You know what? Neither was the Honeymooner set production. So all right.
I feel like because of the construction, like the way the scenes are lined together, not every scene launches into, with his character arc, not every scene previous launches into how he's feeling in the next scene every time, but every time every scene, he's playing something that's true to that character, and he's playing something really interesting. And again, like, I think his best scene is maybe my least favorite scene in the movie outside of all the montages, which is when
he finds his mom in the cage.
Oh no, that was just weird. But no, when he
Lloyd.
When he goes to Donna's house drunk and upset, and
that was a great scene.
It's my least favorite scene only in the sense that it's so uncomfortable. And that way it is a good scene. But like even during that scene I'm like, when do we stop finding it funny? When does the movie know it's a bad thing? And I'm not confident in the movie's ability to, like, it's almost advocating the behavior. It's so close.
Maybe it's not advocating it so much as you're directing this movie, editing it, and like, this guy Tom Hanks is great. So,
right, I mean,
maybe that was, and they just kept this.
But then your job as director is to wrangle in that greatness so it fits a direction.
And sometimes Tom Hanks is so good, it's hard to wrangle.
Garry Marshall is great. I don't want to take anything away from him, and rest in peace, Garry Marshall. And I love a lot of the things.
Now that you're not here, Gary, we're gonna do a new cut.
It's true. Now, and we'll make this movie.
They should remake it. They could totally remake this movie.
Because normally I'm against remakes, but because this is one that has such good things in it, but the execution was poor, I can get behind that. And especially, you could have Tom Hanks play the Jackie Gleason character now. Oh my god! I just fell in love with this idea. Fuck the Family Ties Emmy. This is our new mission. And we're going to have Shelley Long as his wife. This is the movie! Oh my god! That's our time. Alright. I love that idea.
That's a great idea.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to remake Nothing in Common. Tom Hanks is going to play the father character. Shelley Long is going to play the mother character.
Zac Efron for the kid?
Oh, interesting choice. And we'll no music montages.
We have one.
Well, that's the sexy horse montage. That stays. That has to
And we're
stay.
keeping the Jeep. We're keeping the Jeep.
Fuck the Jeep.
Keeping the Jeep.
Only if we make it apparent that this guy is a douchebag.
Yeah.
All right.
Seth Rogen.
I'm in. Sold! That's it for this week on TomHanksgiving. Thanks so much for joining us for this very bizarre conversation about a very bizarre movie, but
Watch it.
it's
If you
It's
want to see great acting,
bad.
watch it.
But there's really good stuff in it.
It's not bad. It's just not great.
I don't know if I'm
It's
confident.
a fine film.
It's not the worst Tom Hanks movie I've seen. But no, it's a really strong performance despite the weird movie from everybody, but especially Hanks. And again, you just got to see it for that sexy horse montage.
There is on the Honeymooners Blu-ray. There's a documentary, and Tom Hanks is in it.
Yeah?
Yeah, and he's talking. They're talking about. And he used to watch. He watched Honeymooners as a kid, and he loved it. So this was a dream for him working with Jackie Gleason.
Well, I do love that. I found this out right before we started recording. Is that Jackie Gleason? Like, this is his last movie.
Yeah.
And he was super sick. He stopped, retired from filmmaking. Basically, wasn't feeling good. He didn't want to do any movies. But Garry Marshall, this might be a rumor, apocryphal, but the story is that Garry Marshall approached him. He wasn't going to do the movie without Jackie Gleason as his character, and he said. Basically, the way he convinced him is, if you don't do this, the last film he'd be remembered for is Smokey and the Bandit. And Jackie Gleason was like, all right, I'm in. And I think he made the wise choice.
Yeah. So Tom Hanks is telling a story about he's talking about the Honeymooners. He's talking about this episode where they think they're getting drunk.
Jackie and
Art Carney.
Okay, yeah. Or Art Carney, yeah.
And so they think they're getting drunk, and Tom Hanks is like, "Oh, you guys, it was great. What do you guys just start laughing, and you're doing this, you do that?" And he says, Gleason goes, and he says, he just starts laughing. That Carney, it was great. So it's such an enduring thing as Jack Gleason as a person. Mm-hmm. Just to especially when the success was all you, so much of you. It was your idea, it was your show, it was your baby, but to still give it to the other person.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
Well, we'll have to have you back on when we do the Honeymooners Blu-ray documentary with Tom Hanks.
I'm in.
In the meantime, where can people find you?
They can find me on my podcast with your good friend Andy Green.
Oh, Andy Green!
Yeah.
You do a podcast with him? What's it called?
It's called Gossip Guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We talk about Gossip Girl, the CW drama.
Interesting.
And you can find us on iTunes and Twitter at Gossip Guys Pod and Facebook and all that jazz. You can also find me at The Worst, the WURSST, and that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
All right.
Come at me. We'll talk Nothing in Common. We'll talk Gleason. We'll talk Hanks.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thank you to Aaron Davitian for being on the show. Couple of quick announcements. First off, we will not be back next Tuesday. We're going dark next week because I am going to New York. I've fallen in love with a woman I've only talked to on the phone, and we're going to meet at the Empire State Building. Hope it goes well. But the following week, we will be back June 6th. That's a Tuesday, of course. And we'll be talking about Fallen Angels. In fact, it'll be Season 1, Episode 2, I'll Be Waiting. The episode is directed by Tom Hanks, and he does, of course, appear. And, oh boy, lot to talk about with that episode. Mostly not good. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting conversation either way. But the other big announcement before we go, we only have 10 episodes left of TomHanksgiving. At least until we reach permanent hibernation. We'll be, of course, resurrecting every time Tom Hanks has a new movie or something big happens. But holy shit. 10 more episodes, you guys. It's been quite a journey, and I can't wait to finish it with you. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with Fallen Angels Season 1, Episode 2, I'll Be Waiting. You won't be waiting long, and until then, thanks for listening.
Hanks. We fell in love with you, Tom Hanks, just like so many do deeply, because you made us smile, and you're great on-screen style. So that's why we give thanks, 'cause you got a friend in Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Max Bashner. David, your father.
All right.